Hi everybody, we're here at the Australian Federal Police in Cairns, Gimoy, Cairns, and before we start we want to of course acknowledge that we're here on Gimoy Wallabara Yidinji territory, here down on the lower slopes of the mountain, and we want to recognise that those Gimoy Wallabara Yidinji are here amongst us, and they're our friends, and that they've kept this country so beautiful for so long. Their First Nation struggle is very much related to this struggle we're going to talk about today, which is the West Papuan struggle of First Nations people in our neighbouring country of West Papua. And what we're doing here today, he tells his story. So George, come on. I'll just set up this microphone for you. You want to have a seat? You can, oh no, you have to sit because we've got that specially set up there. Nice.
Desire for independence, and Indonesia continue to kill and rape everyone in the village around West Papua. So let us take 2 minutes for silence, and then I can continue. Thank you. Back on 1969, after the referendum was unsuccessful, and then entire community in West Papua, especially educated people who oppose no gun to against army, and then maybe the army going to kill everybody. So I was very sad, and in the school also we're talking about what's been happened when I was a little boy. But one night when we were sleeping in our home in the village in Biak Island. My village is in the southern island of Biak Island. That's not far away from the Biak town. We hear the sound of the outboat motor coming everywhere, and then suddenly we hear the sound of the boats jumping, and then we saw that is military with the Komok flag, and took control every location of our village. And then the council of the village was yelling to everyone to don't go out from the house and stay inside the house because the military already take over this village. So we just quiet. And then when I saw the army, that's first time to show came with the heavy military equipment, and I make my way to get out from the house to try to run away to the end of the village and stay with my auntie. And early in the morning, we saw the military everywhere, busy to gathering all the, your brother, your father. I said, I don't know, because I'm a small boy. But they continue to. So terrible first step to affecting my psychological along my life until today. They kill everyone, but I mean the people directly involved, and then catch them in the jungle. They kill them, and then when the women try to cry, they stop them. So must be go to the hiding place and then crying. Don't cry in front of the army personnel or something like that. So the island of Biak, by the time military took control, western part of the island, they killed so many people. Went to the jungle and catch them and kill them straight away in their hiding places. So during the time of my study, all these things I never forgot. And you run away from the army to join the OPM. I say that is my decision. So when I was in the military for 5 years in the infantry battalion, so-called 75-1 commandos, based in Sentani, where they now disaster been hit them in West Papua, and then I tried to contact with the boys from the Wamena, if possible, for come along and assisting us one day. So the boys still know me, and then I went to Merauke. I was in the Merauke. I leading the soldier to fighting with the police in Merauke as well, especially West Papuan or Melanesian boys who in the military by the time. And on 1980, I went to the Java Island for training in Surabaya, and then I in contact with a student in Cendrawasih University, and they said, we're still waiting for you guys to come back. And I was in Java, and Arnold Clemensap, the father of Oriap in Netherlands, been arrested in their home near Cendrawasih campus in Jayapura. Arnold been arrested because of he was anthropologist graduate, and then also leading the group so-called Mambesak. And when the 19 nation, the military attaché been visiting Jayapura for General Douglas MacArthur monument in Jayapura, Arnold was suddenly explained about the Tarian Mambesak because they performed the Mambesak Tarian or dancing of Mambesak. And Arnold said, this is Tarian Mambesak, not from Indonesia, but this is from West Papua. And Arnold been arrested. So on 1981, we prepared to be against Indonesian military with the military equipment from 751 Infantry Battalion. So we got the 5 key from warehouses, but no people to hold the guns. So we tried to campaign, and then the student very happy to speak out, and then intelligence and Indonesian military intelligence knew that's what's going to be happen on 11 February 1994. So by the times I said we're going to move out. I didn't say no. I want to stay in this house. This is our place. I said, this is not our place. This is Indonesian Army place. Now you leave everything, jump on the taxi, get out from the barracks because we're going to fight tonight. So 9th of February 1984, Irene and myself get out from the Indonesian barracks, military barracks, and joining freedom fighters with other 25 soldiers. So from that on, we across to Papua New Guinea with 17,000 refugees, first time to become international refugee recognized by the United Nations. So we went to Blackwater camp. First we entering Blackwater camp. Foreign Affairs and immigration from Papua New Guinea took us to refugee camp, and then Irene said, this is the place you want to take me. So we live there. So until today, so I think that's all. I got so many story, long story, but later on we can talk about that, or plan to write a book as well. Thank you. So thank you so much for that.
Can you just stay there?
Yep.
I'm sitting down. So I'm going to ask the group. We've got a lovely group here gathered, and I'd love to hear just one or two people say what resonated for you when you heard George's story today. What spoke to you? What made your heart change or sharpen? Yeah, and I'm just wondering if somebody would speak to the live feed with that response. Jeff.
I guess two things that stuck out in my mind was, as a 9-year-old student, having a gun pointed to your head is just really shocking to me. And also, you mentioned there were 25 of you in the barracks, and I'm thinking you've got an Indonesian army of hundreds of thousands, and yet you were willing to take them on. So incredible courage.
Australian military and police trained Kopassus back when they were occupying East Timor, and they're still training Kopassus now, who are responsible for a lot of ongoing suffering in West Papua. So I feel really ashamed that my country is part of this, and I guess I'm asking all Australians to join us and West Papua safe, tell the Australian Federal Police, stop training human rights abusers. Rose.
Like for me, I could never cope with that sort of thing. And just for me, understanding the freedom that I had in my country growing up without that sort of thing, it helps me understand how fortunate I was, and for a lot of people as well. So it's really, it's devastating, it's disgusting, and I really hope something happens, like something good turns out, for the people back at home in West Papua. So yeah.
Thank you, Rose. And Gary?
Yep. Yeah, thank you for that story, George. Very touching, and people lose their homes in their country. It's just I'm just ashamed of being an Australian for being that. Wish you all the best. Free West Papua.
Speak through there. So we want to say to remind people that this genocide in West Papua is still going on. It's been left, and the Dutch left, and what we have now is Australia supporting the Indonesians by providing training from their forces to the special forces of Indonesia. And what this is meaning is what happened in the same thing that happened in East Timor, that what we have is a set of better. What we know is that what started back there for these refugees, for these people fleeing their country, these stories are keeping on going, and we have a whole new generation of people now having to flee West Papua or killed. So we want you, we know there's something you can do about it. We want you to join our campaign to make West Papua safe, to call on the AFP to stop training human rights abusers, to hold the Australian Federal Police accountable. We have a petition and join a campaign. There's an AFP office in many cities and towns in Australia. If there's an international airport, there'll be an AFP office just like here in Cairns. And you can go and you can also demand that the AFP get a risk assessment, a human rights risk assessment that they can put to notice what they're doing, because at the moment there's no way of telling except what we see on the ground, which is more death, destruction and militarisation, resulting in